What is up, everybody? It's Lawrence again. I got some new lighting. Hopefully this makes the videos look a little clearer and better. My little face will shine more often. Nike has been on a complete blitz in terms of making new technology. So we have the Vapor Max, we have the React, which was originally first done in a basketball shoe. They've released the Air Max 270. They've released a self-lacing shoe. So there's a lot of different things that Nike has been doing to try to push the envelope of what shoes as well as performance can do. Before we get into it, I wanted to show you one of the shoes I will be replacing. So I've had the Lunar Epic for about a year and a half, almost 2 years, and so this is one of the first models. This was actually one of the Olympic models that came out with the Unlimited campaign in I believe, summer of 2016. So I've worn this to shit. Really, the Lunarlon cushioning on this is basically gone, but it's one of the most comfortable shoes that I've owned, and they still look pretty good after almost a year and a half, 2 years. And without further ado, here is the Nike Epic React in the white and racer blue colorway. This shoe was available on February 5th. This is the exclusive pair only available to Nike Plus members. So let's take a closer look at the shoe. The uppers comprise of Flyknit. It's stretchier where the tongue is and a little more rigid in certain places where you kind of want more rigidity. I'm a little surprised that they didn't use a little more hyperfuse here. There's actually no hyperfuse around the shoe. The upper itself is extremely nice. It's not very stretchy. So if you've ever actually worn any Flyknit material in general, it's a lot less stretchy and pliable than the Adidas Prime Knit. And I wanted to say this ahead of time. So for any runners out there that are looking to use this as a running shoe, the upper is actually very different than the Lunar Epics. The React Flyknit is actually a lot thinner, so it's much more closer to the racers than the old Epics were, because the old Epics have a pretty, I'd say maybe a dual ply knit, whereas this feel would be closer to a single ply, if that makes any sense. Looking at the laces, you're going to see a TPU piece to basically add rigidity to it. One of the interesting things about the lacing system in general is that the laces go underneath and over. So they're actually on the bottom of the shoe as well, and you can see it over here. And so what's interesting is they're actually relatively hard to lace compared to a normal shoe. Looking at the front of the shoe, it's actually going to be relatively reminiscent of what you would see on Adidas, as well as some of the Nike models for running. So thinking of the Racer, it has that arrow pattern that's similar to it. The front of the shoe has an extremely breathable upper, which is great. You can actually see holes through it. And then kind of going up the laces, you're going to see more of that TPU pattern, regular flat laces for performance. And moving to the top of the shoe, you're actually going to see a tongue that's attached. So it's one booty-like construction. So it's very similar to almost all the Adidas running shoes and lifestyle shoes. This is a huge gripe of mine. I actually do not like that at all. Usually there's either a split tongue, which is on the Vapor Max where this is cut in, or on my old Lunar Epics, it was actually a separate tongue altogether. I personally prefer a tongue that's detached just because it makes it easier to get on foot. On the medial side, you're going to see the Nike swoosh again. What I really love about this is there's actually a very subtle Nike printed on in a new font. Looking at the back of the shoe, you are going to see a TPU heel cup with the Nike on the medial side and something blank on the right side. You're also going to see the racer blue TPU piece that's bonded into the sole itself. This is to help add stability when people are running. Moving a little further, you're going to see the heel tab written in the racer blue that says Epic React. On the collar of the shoe, you're going to see most of the stretchier Flyknit, which is good because it's easier to put on. In addition to that, if you look inside, there's also a suede piece where the heel cup is to hopefully add some stability and less friction when you're running. In addition to that, if you're looking at the very bottom of the shoe, you are going to see the Nike symbol on the insole. So what Nike claims with the sole is that it was computationally made specifically for each size, as well as gender. So looking at the shapes of people's foots, as well as how they strike and things like that, every single size was designed individually. In the toe area, as well as the heel area, you're going to see more reinforced rubber. One of the things that I'm actually afraid of, and I'm actually already seeing it now, is I've only worn this for about maybe 20-30 minutes. I'm really afraid of this area over here being completely and utterly destroyed. We'll see where it goes. Hopefully it lasts a lot longer than I anticipate, but the React itself is supposed to last hundreds of hours in terms of cushioning. And the reason for that is so that it doesn't flatten out like a lot of other foam-based cushioning. So let's see how these go. I will definitely be doing a long-term review of this after I get some miles on it. I will also be running on these, and so these are actually going to be replacing my Lunar Epics. So I've had these on for about 20-30 minutes or so not that long, but my first impressions are super amazing. So I am not a huge fan of Boost in general. It's not that it's not comfortable, it's an extremely comfortable cushioning. The problem with Boost is I can't really wear it for more than a couple hours. So for most people, if you're going to get into a car, go to a mall, just walk around for 20-30 minutes, maybe an hour, you're totally fine. But I live in New York City where I'm always on my feet, and the sinking feeling that you get while walking on Boost really, really tires and aches my feet after several hours. It's much stiffer than anticipated. It looks like it'd be really squishy, and even if I squish down on the sole right now, it feels really squishy, but when it's on foot, the resistance that it comes and bounces back on is all there. And I really enjoy the shoe thus far. I actually think it's a huge winner by Nike, much more so than even the Vapor Max, and I absolutely love the Vapor Max. From a styling perspective, I think these are pretty tame. I think Nike could have done a lot better in terms of making these a cooler looking shoe, but if you kind of look at the Nike lineage of the Epics in general, it's a relatively plain shoe, so I definitely don't blame them for doing that just because it's within the lineage, and also this shoe was designed for running at the end of the day, and so while the Vapor Max has this futuristic look, this is a much more typical runner, and I don't mind it that much, but I do like the other colors that will be coming out on February 22nd. From a sizing perspective, I would definitely go a half size up if you have wider feet. Even with narrow feet, you still might want to have half size up, especially if you're running, because your feet will swell up and it's going to get larger. Almost all, I'd say, Flyknit shoes, for me personally, you'd have to go half size up. So whatever you wear in the Vapor Max, whatever you wear in racers, that would be the size I would go with on these. It's no different. So my final thoughts. Extremely light shoe, extremely comfortable. Definitely, I'm going to say it right now, the Boost Killer from Nike. This is much better value at Boost at $150 retail instead of the $180 to $190 for Boost and the Ultra Boost versions. I would say the Pure Boost is around the same price range and it's actually a little cheaper, but the Pure Boost is trash in my opinion. It's compared to the Ultra Boost. Upper is good, but it's nothing game changing. If you have any other Flyknit sneakers out there, it's exactly the same. This is not as stretchy as you would get from Primeknit, like I said, and so if you want that stretchiness, this would not be the shoe to go with. But for me, I like the lockdown feeling. One of the other big omissions that I see odd, but I don't actually mind, is the fact that these there's no flywire on it. Not having flywire is huge. But personally, as a wide footer, I'm actually really glad the flywire is not here, because the way this is built with the TPU counter and the way that the laces are, which is I assume why they lace it this way, it's actually relatively stable. The cushioning is stable, the upper is stable, and the reason why this is important is because for me as a wide footer, the flywire a lot of times would cut into my foot during the midfoot area, and so it was a little harder to wear over time. Definitely for running sessions, it was more than fine, but wearing it for long durations of time made it difficult. And so without the flywire, I can hopefully wear these all day. Once again, if you guys enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Really, really helps in terms of getting visibility. And subscribe to the channel. Once I get to 1,000 visitors, I will be doing a raffle. So once we get there together, we'll be doing something so that I can reward the 1,000 people that have supported me thus far. But that's it. I'm gonna lace these up, put these on, and do an on feet. And once again, these are the Nike Epic React in the white and racer blue colorways. And that's it. Until next time, peace.